Top-level panel on Newshour Debate 1 tonight. Rana Banerjee is retired Special Secretary, the Cabinet Secretariat. Swaranjit Sen is former DGP of State of Andhra Pradesh. TSR Subramaniam, former Cabinet Secretary of India. Atul Kumar Anjan of the Communist Party of India. Mahesh Jetpalani of the BJP. Kiran Bedi, one of India's leading police officers. And Renuka Chaudhary. My first question is to you, Ms. Chaudhary. You are also from this state, so I'm absolutely sure that you are as devastated as all of us. However, what is most worrying, Ms. Renuka Chaudhary, is that in this case, it seems to have been a deliberate decision to do nothing. It's not because of the lack of information. It's not because of the lack of, lack of specific intelligence. It is not because of the lack of security available. It is simply carelessness, laxity to do anything, act upon the sources and act upon actionable intelligence. Why has there been such carelessness? Isn't that the greatest point of concern, Renuka Chaudhary, today, after this Hyderabad blast?
Arnav, I refuse to answer this kind of judgment that you are giving. And I don't like the tone or tenor that has been taken at the very opening. You introduced this show in a shockingly pessimistic way. And since you seem to be knowing all the answers, you tell us. Tell us. You're actually accusing the state government of deliberately keeping quiet. I mean, that is amazing. That is amazing.
What I'm saying is that the Delhi police had specific information.
So what's left to debate?
No, the Delhi
what
police.
What is left to debate?
No, Renuka Chaudhary, please don't take it otherwise. So let me explain to you.
The police had specific information.
Yes, that's specific
please
information.
understand one thing, Arnav. My state is in a state of shock. My citizens who were brilliant, who came forward and helped the injured to move to the hospitals, and it impacts on our life. If you're going to stand up and say on a national TV that we deliberately didn't do something, then that is really not worth replying to.
Don't you agree?
That is very upsetting.
No, don't you agree? No. See, the thing is, I'm not saying deliberately there was nothing done, but there obviously was laxity and carelessness. Why I'm saying this, let me explain, and I would like to have another answer from you on this. No, ma'am, let me explain. Let me explain, and then you can tear me apart if you want. No, let me explain this. Why I'm contending this. I want to raise this issue today, and I want your answer on it specifically from you before I take it forward. The information available, Ms. Chaudhary, is that the Delhi police had specific information that the Dilsukh Nagar area had been recce'd in July 2012. That's point number one. It was recce'd by people who were in the custody of Delhi police in Tihar jail. I am informed now that after the Hyderabad blast, one of these people has now been interrogated further, and some fresh leads have been got from that person. My basic and limited contention is that had this happened earlier, Ms. Chaudhary, I'm not a police person, but I'm just putting two and two together and saying, had this happened earlier, there would have been high security alert. The general information coming from the Home Ministry would not have been general. There would have been some specific action on the ground in Hyderabad. And this incident would not have happened in the way that it has. In the same foot overbridge where the IM triggered serial blast in Hyderabad in August 25, 2007. So I am only asking you from that perspective, Ms. Chaudhary.
I do not want to divulge on national TV the facts that are in hand with the state government. But let me assure you, Arnav, far more than you, those of us who live in Andhra Pradesh, that we are alert and we are concerned, and there is action on the ground which you don't even know about.
The action was obviously...
Unfortunately or fortunately, most of what we do and what we know is not performance on national TV.
Well, I mean...
as is the demand of action that has to be taken in such issues.
Okay. Let's get a second perspective. I take what you're saying. Let's get a second perspective on this. Let's get Mahesh Jetpalani in, because he has a contrary perspective on this. Mahesh Jetpalani, your perspective of what has happened. Do you agree with the contention here of Renuka Chaudhary that enough was done, and to accuse anyone of inaction, deliberate or otherwise,
it's never enough if someone dies, Arnav.
I take your point. Never enough.
It's never enough if despite that someone dies. Let me tell you, we are not making excuses at this time or trying to dodge the bullet, okay?
We all
But the fact of the matter is, Unlike what you said, no one was sitting back and doing nothing or twiddling their thumbs.
I would be very happy to believe
like
that,
but it demoralizes the police force.
No.
It demoralizes citizens around here.
Well, I'll just get a second perspective, Ms. Renuka Chaudhary, from Mahesh Jethmalani. Mr. Jethmalani.
Yeah, please speak to the police.
I don't know why Renuka is getting so. I don't know why Renuka Chaudhary is getting so offended. We are trying to examine the reasons whether there was another intelligence failure or not. Nobody's making accusations.
Mahesh. We are just deeply disturbed. We are in a lot of distress at this point. Will you appreciate that?
But I fully appreciate it, and please, Renuka, we are not parochial. Andhra Pradesh, this is not only a matter which concerns you because you're from Andhra Pradesh. It concerns every Indian citizen. We are outraged. You may be disturbed.
I agree, but if you don't mind,
you may be disturbed. We are outraged.
At this point, I'm completely shaken.
You have been in. All right, now you've had your say. I know you're grief stricken.
Okay, Renuka Chaudhary, let him complete. I'll come back to you.
We are all grief stricken.
Yeah.
But we are entitled to ask of the government, and if you are too emotional to answer these questions, perhaps you shouldn't come.
No, come on. Let's not make it personal. Let's continue with the debate, please. Yeah.
Do I need your permission, Mahesh?
No, one second. Mahesh Jethmalani, I request you. I request you between. One second. I first want to say a thing. I want to make a limited point. I want to make a limited point. I have greatest respect and regard for all our panelists, and I can take as much of a battering from our panelists as they choose. But the point is, I want to still go back to the issue of debate, Mahesh Jethmalani. And my question for which I'm putting forward is this.
All right.
No, one second. What is the greater problem? What is my Newshour subject of debate today? What is flashing on the screen is this. I am asking today, what is the greater problem? A political will to eliminate terror or a poor infrastructure to fight terror? Both are a problem. I am simply asking what is a greater problem and what is the lesson from Hyderabad. Please complete your point, Mahesh Jethmalani.
But if I have to say both, and I have to say both equally, and they overlap enough. And if I say it's the first, I'll be accused of politicizing terror. So I'm not going to get into that. The question is that ever since we set up the NIA after 26/11, there have been 11 terror strikes in this country, most of them at the instance of the Indian Mujahideen. Some have been in the northeast where organizations like ULFA are said to be involved. There have been 11 terrorist strikes in this country. This is the 11th one now, in which the government has actually had no answer. There's been a massive intelligence failure, and we are told every time that, there is no intelligence failure, but these things happen. First, it started by saying this is a big country and small incidents like this happen in big cities, when in the case of Mumbai. Now there's no reply. People are now resorting to, we should not politicize issue, we should not, but we need some answers. I mean, you had yesterday Mr. Shinde, just to give you one example, what perturbs me personally is Mr. Shinde yesterday made a statement saying that we had intel 2 days ago. We had intel 2 days ago, and we put states on high alert.
Yeah.
But there was no specific input. Now that has been rubbished by the fact that the Delhi police had interrogated and found that in Dilsukh Nagar there had been a recce by two gentlemen, Makbul and Imran, at the instance of Riaz Bhatkal, who is still at large after being a perpetrator of many bomb blasts in this country. Where is Riaz Bhatkal, and how is he still managing to get sleeper cells to start operating at his whim and fancy every time he wants? We need some answers to this. People are dying, and there's no point just shedding crocodile tears and doing nothing, just moving on to the next terrorist incident.
Well, this is not the first time that Dilsukh Nagar was the scene of a terror attack. It has had past brushes with terror. And the fact is there were no clear lessons that were learned from the past. Let's get a third perspective in from TSR Subramaniam. What's the bigger problem in your view, Mr. Subramaniam? Are we in denial mode?
Arnab, I would not focus on this particular incident, but I would like to speak on the larger issue. Frankly, I am not quite so sure that riots, terrorism is too much on the radar of the government of India.
Why?
Just like poverty or illiteracy or public health, these are temporary irritants to be handled from time to time. Starting from 1993, when we had the Bombay riots, then 26/11, till the other day, Dawood Ibrahim was moving around in Karachi and in Dubai. 5 years it took us on a TV show, live TV show 26/11. We had to execute the person, as if as if we are in shame, we are doing something wrong, as if India is apologetic about executing him. So
what is
I am
the point
not
you're
quite
making?
so sure, and I think there's a lot of political pussyfooting here. I don't think anybody is the most open secret that IM is a branch of ISI. It is the most open secret. Everybody knows that. And the fact is that I think the assessment of whoever is in power, that we'll get away with it, we'll get on with it. There will be noise, there will be irritation, there will be a problem, we will move on. And you started that if the people don't take it seriously, we now have to ram it down their throat. I think that is the issue. I'm not trying to underplay the issue. I think it is a question of attitude. I don't think too many people are losing sleep in Lutyens, Delhi because of this incident.
Oh, you're saying that. Okay, Renuka Chaudhary wanted a quick rebut. Renuka Chaudhary, very brief rebut before I go to the next panelist. Yes, please.
I just want to ask Mr. Subramaniam, he just said poverty is a small irritant. Is that what this is about? And this is a man who served the government of India.
Don't be personal, please.
He was in a position where he could have made valuable decisions.
Don't be personal, please.
And guided.
I can also be personal. I can also be personal. Don't be personal.
In judgment of the government to say that, no, I'm not getting personal, Mr. Subramaniam. The country is watching.
No,
you were there as cabinet secretary.
Renuka, you have to face a lot of personal attacks.
This is not a personal attack.
It is
I'm
below the
asking
belt.
a bureaucrat who is supposed
below the
to
belt,
have been
Renuka, I think
part of the government mechanism.
down the standard of the discussion.
Because
Can we come back to the issue?
How can you hide? How can you abdicate your responsibility?
Can we please, Renuka Chaudhary and T.S.R. Subramaniam, can we please come back to the issue? You know, we'll get lost otherwise in this debate. Let's focus on the question which I put at hand.
How does Mr. Subramaniam today, who is a retired bureaucrat, say that the government is not a priority with the government?
Renuka Chaudhary, Mr. Subramaniam
was saying because she has a lot of experience in moving around in different parties. So she knows many things.
No, 1 second. Let's not get personal at all. This is Mr.
Who
Subramaniam.
said this about different parties?
This was Mr. Atul Kumar Anjan, but that's not the issue right now.
Talking about
Renuka Chaudhary, let's not move away from the subject, please. And Atul Kumar Anjan as well. Otherwise, we can make our rhetorical points that does not help us. Let's get you in on the real subject, Atul Kumar Anjan. The fact is that if the government were wanting to be tough on terror, you would be the first person, Atul Kumar Anjan. And your party would be the first party. So to say we don't want tough anti-terror laws, we don't want tough omnibus laws to fight terror, your party would be leading from the front on that. So what are you saying?
No, I just want to say, Arnabji, when the president of this republic addressing both the houses of parliament, and in his report he says that the terrorism has been, checked during the last few years or in the few months by my government. Immediately after 5.5 hours, this tragedy takes place in Hyderabad. My heart goes with those who have lost their very near and dear. I'm very much worried about those who are in the hospital. But at the same time, this is not the thing. Last time in 2007, there was a bomb blast in Hyderabad. Many other places this bomb blast has taken. The government of India, as far Home Minister says, he has warned the states. They had a lot of inputs. But despite that, why this is happening? Where our LIU, where our local intelligence, where our special task force, where our state intelligence, where our state police intelligence, where is our IB, RAW, CBI, all other modules, why they fail to get all such...
Yeah, because there's no centralized body.
And that is...
Because there's no centralized body.
That's the point here. That's the point.
Because there's no centralized body.
No,
let's come to the point.
What is the solution?
No, one second.
What is the solution?
I'm asking when
the solution lies with you. You are leading the government. You are having the Home Minister who also happens to be the leader
Do you
your
agree
party
that
in
we need a
parliament, in
national
Lok Sabha.
mechanism?
Are you having any plan?
you
Are you
agree?
having any plan?
Yes, are
No,
you
no, no.
listening?
Do you
Are
have
you
any
listening?
plan? Are you consistent to fight it? We have made many laws, but there is no enforcement of that. And you are taking up.
I am
you are
asking
arresting
you,
Muslim
Mr.
youth.
Ajaz,
Just a minute.
Are you ready
you are
to
arresting.
say that we need a national mechanism, a centralized
But where is-
instrument that
at
will
this
go
point of
into
time,
the remote
everybody in
corners
this
of India?
country
And we
is
will
with the
not have a
government.
slip between
Why
the
you
centre
fail?
and the state. Are you ready for the national mechanism?
Renuka ji, at this point of time, the entire parliament, all political party, country is with you. You are not in, earlier also, when this blast took place, this was the solemn pledge of the parliament.
Yeah,
that we
so
stand by
I
the government
remember,
of India.
one sec, let's not, let's steer it. No, one sec, wait, we'll steer it, the debate back. I remember that when there was a talk about the NIA, there was a debate in parliament. And if I am not mistaken, Shri Arun Jaitley stood up in parliament and he said this is a half measure, but we will still support the measure. But however, when the full measure is being debated, Kiran Bedi, let me get you in. When the full measure was debated, which is the National Counter-Terror Center, Mahesh Jethmalani, hear me loud and clear. The BJP and all the other parties stood there and said we will not allow the NCTC to function. So you want a tough law, but when the government wants to implement an NCTC, your political suspicions don't allow you to let go of the control that you seek, because you're running state governments, to allow for a larger anti-terror body to be operating from New Delhi. That's a fact. No, you want to counter that first, Mahesh Jethmalani? It is a fact.
Yes, I do want to counter that. Arnav, you know, if this is now becoming a platitude. We don't have any paucity of laws in this country. Please tell me, we have an NIA already. And NIA was supposed to prevent terrorism in this country. The National Investigating Agency created in the wake of 26/11. What has it done to today? What has it got to its credit except trying to rehash some old cases in which elite...
I just told you, Mahesh Jethmalani, that your party said that the NIA is a half measure. No, your party said the NIA is a half measure. Your party said the NIA is a half step.
Yes, I am telling you why.
So let's take all the steps.
It's a half measure. I'm saying take all the steps, but the full step, what is the full step? The full step is you must have the political will. Now please, I'll tell you where the absence of political will comes in, Arnav. It is not a question of more laws. It's of having the will to implement those laws effectively and expeditiously, right? Forget the delay in the hanging of people like Afzal Guru. That's one aspect. But now let me tell you how soft this government is on LET. If there have been 3 cases in this, Mecca Masjid, Malegaon 2006 and Samjauta Express. There have been detailed investigations, there have been UN resolutions, you know it. There has been a US State Department resolution saying that the LET is involved, and not only is the LET involved, they've named people like Arif Kasmani and Dawood Ibrahim. Hafiz Syed has a $10 million bounty on his head by the US government. Yet, let me tell you, these 3 cases in which it is certified internationally that the LET is involved, these investigations are now being botched up on absolute rubbish evidence. The whole investigation is being subverted and some new angle is being given to it. That new angle is almost laughable. Then let me tell you, how do you have Yassin Malik? Yassin Malik is now on your program telling the whole country that he's been in 2006 after meeting the Indian Prime Minister to meet Hafiz Syed, a wanted terrorist with a 10 million bounty on his head. He goes again this time. You are told that he'll be interrogated and his passport will be revoked. What has happened to that? The Indian Mujahideen is a sleeper cell of the ISI and the LET. Where is the will of this government? They are keeping links with the LET. Yassin Malik is one such link.
Okay, I know where you stand now. I see no count. One second. Kiran Bedi. No, Kiran Bedi, please. I'm now going to go to Kiran Bedi, Swaranjit Sen and Rana Maris. 1 minute. I'm moving away from the politicians for a minute.
1 point.
1 minute, sir. Sir, don't. Sir, okay. I'm hearing you.
Bharat, Colonel Purohit, Sadhvi Pragya and Asimanand were involved. Let us not make difference into that. We should remind to the nation, these are the people. They are also responsible for that.
My question to Kiran Bedi is this. What is the greater problem? The political will to eliminate terror or a poor infrastructure to fight it? And Kiran Bedi, is the absence of an infrastructure also because there is no political will beyond a point?
Arnab, we are into competitive policing. In this country, we have an Indian police service. And that's the unitary element of our parliamentary form of government, or of the half federal, half unitary. Indian police service stood for uniting the police, uniting minds, uniting intelligence, uniting heads. But it's not Indian police service. It's a competitive policing. It's not a collaborative policing. It's not a coalition of policing. That's our first problem. It's competitive. You saw it was competitive in Justice Verma's committee. How none of the DGPs sent their note to Mr. Justice Verma on crimes against women, because it is bureaucratically controlled, it's politically controlled, it's very hierarchical, it's not independent. The point is that DGPs do not come together in any neutral platform to regularly share.
So that is the bigger issue of police reforms. I'm asking you here today. No, I don't want to go into bigger issues of police reforms at this stage. I'm asking you here today that the Delhi police had specific information that the Dilsukh Nagar area, Rana Banerjee, my question is to you, that the Dilsukh Nagar area had been recceed by this man. I'm putting his picture up. His name is Syed Maqbool. Status arrested by the Delhi police. This man recceed the Dilsukh Nagar area. It was a very well-known fact by Syed Maqbool and Imran Khan. Now, why did the Delhi police not act on that information, follow up, or were they just plain lazy? No, this information was available.
Sitting for half an hour, and he just allowed me 1 minute to speak.
Well, for one thing, it was in October, and there is a mechanism of the multi-agency committee which should have flagged this when the other input about the intelligence alert about the last 2 days before, when it came up. Then somebody in the multi-agency committee at the central level should have recollected this
why didn't they?
Delhi police report of October.
No, but why didn't they?
Flagged it particularly to the cities that the alert was sent. And why was this not done?
Why didn't they? Why did they not do that? Do they think it is not important?
If there was an alert, if there was an alert representative of the multi-agency committee both at the state level and at the center, then the connection could have been made.
Why are they not alert? Because there are multi-agency committees, there is the Intelligence Bureau. Why are people not alert? Why don't they connect the dots?
Well, it depends on the personnel, where they are posted or what they are doing.
No,
that
what? I mean, a police officer.
The dedication of the personnel concerned.
No, a police
they are
officer.
non-serious people.
No, is it being taken too casually? Swaranjit Sen, is such information taken too casually that you pretty much don't care, if a blast happens? Blasts are commonplace, they happen. And when you have if the politicians on top of it say that we cannot protect people all the time, do you feel there is a growing sense, Swaranjit Sen, that you don't need to be overactive to stop incidents of terror?
Well, in this particular case, it seems that there was some kind of intelligence, actionable intelligence. Now you have, I would say, probably the best two commissioners of police in place in the jurisdiction where these bombs were exploded. The problem is this, are we really prioritizing anti-terrorism as a top priority whenever we get alerts? Now that is what is the important factor.
So, Mr. Swaranjit Sen, can I ask you one thing? You say they were one of the two top commissioners. No, you're saying they are the two top police officers. That's your subjective assessment. If they are such great police officers and they know that 2 days back there is intelligence information, a sort of warning, a generalized warning which has come from Delhi, and they also know that there is somebody sitting in Delhi who has already confessed that he has recceed the Dilsukh Nagar area, then can you tell me why CCTV cameras are not functioning, and which CCTV cameras are functioning in the Dilsukh Nagar area actually reportedly had snapped wires? Why there was no police presence in the area?
No,
and why exactly the same spot?
CCTV.
Why the same spot was targeted if these commissioners are such good officers? Exact same spot was targeted.
No, I don't think it is the same. No. I don't think it's the same spot which was targeted. And CCTVs are certainly not the entire solution for the problem. There are so many other things. We have intelligence agencies and all.
No.
The point is that you can never give 100%.
So why? No, no. Why? If that is the starting point, why is that the starting point always?
No,
we can never give 100%.
No, no. What I'm trying to let me know one thing. I would just like to say, whatever means and methods which were required to act on the information gained, were they actually put into place or not?
They were not put into place. They were not put into place.
1 minute, sir. Department, we can't say whether that happened.
No, sir, they were not put into place. They target precisely the same spot near the foot overbridge in Dilsukh Nagar, where the IM triggered serial blast in Hyderabad. The probe has suggested that the IED format is also exactly the same format, is signature format of the Indian Mujahideen. The use of bicycles and tiffins is a signature Indian Mujahideen format.
Yeah.
I am just asking you directly here today,
yes,
if there is so much evidence, on top of it, you know that Dilsukh Nagar has been recce. It is going to be targeted. You know the person has told you is in jail, in Tihar jail. Then why was no action taken at all? This is not a surprise attack. That's where Renuka Chaudhary got upset when I started. This is not a surprise attack. There are too many fingers pointing in the same direction that the information was available and nobody did anything.
No, it's too much of a sweeping statement to say that nothing at all was done.
So,
it is there are many sleeper cells that that get into position. Now we do not know how many sleeper cells have been neutralized by the police or not.
Sir, a press conference was held. A press conference was held.
Which escaped.
No, sir, press conference.
I'm not taking anyone's brief. I'm not trying to support the police.
No. I agree with you. I agree with the point that police people in two different states don't talk to each other. My concern is that Delhi, Bombay, and Hyderabad are connected. Renuka Chaudhary, you see where I'm drawing the dots here. Delhi, there is a person, Renuka Chaudhary, sitting in the jail, who says, I've wrecked the area. In Bombay, there is a press conference in which the police says 3 people of the Indian Mujahideen, whose pictures I'm putting up here, have gone off our radar. So, they are possible targets. Then there is an intelligence input from Delhi which says attacks can happen. If you simply connect these 3 dots, there should have been some basic security provided. And the fact that the Indian Mujahideen attacked the same spot just, makes you feel so completely vulnerable.
Yeah. Well, I can't really refute what you're saying, except that, it's not proper to say that nothing was done. They would have taken their own action. But as I say, such incidents, it's high time that, as Mr. Subramanian said, let us not go on pussyfooting. It's high time that we took a much more serious approach to all this problem and prioritize this.
Yes, and I
forget about all other things. Once you get an alert, you should be absolutely sharp, and you should form your various parties to go out and get to all the clues and all the suspects and make it evident that you are active in that area.
But
now, was that done? I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
This political debate which happens, Renuka Chaudhary just spoils it, because in a way here there is information with Delhi police. How is that being shared with Hyderabad police? How is the information of the Mumbai police going to the Delhi police?
Between you and Renuka Chaudhary, I can't interfere into it.
It concerns all of us, because how the information flows and is acted upon is the most critical issue today in the fight against terror, Ms. Chaudhary.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
I agree there.
And now there's no halfway measure.
And it's high time that we really prioritize this.
I'm asking a question. Since we're debating this on national TV, and you have 2 policemen on your show, and you have eminent bureaucrat who serve the government of India, and all the other honorable panelists, I'm asking, are we ready for a national mechanism where we empower the center to go into the most remote areas so that there is absolutely no slip between the cup and the lip, where we can say that the state government didn't do this, or the state says that we didn't know ABC of this, or whatever? Are we ready for that?
I think we'll have to settle it tonight. Let's settle it. Let's settle it. Let's settle it. Let me get a clear answer from Mahesh Jethmalani on this. Let me get a clear answer. There is a trust deficit, you see. Mahesh Jethmalani, you don't trust the Congress. Congress does not trust you. Intelligence Bureau does not trust
It's not about Congress or BJP.
No,
it's
of
about
course it is.
center versus
No,
state.
Arnab, one
It's-
thing.
yes, it's center versus-
Arnab,
Yes.
here is a very typical case. Here is a very typical case. The government, the center sends them input. They informs them. There is a Congress government. The Congress central government informs the Congress government. There is an opposition government. The question is this. Information has been passed and they did nothing, and then what message comes out from there? That is the point. That is the main point.
Well, the main point is that there are political turf battles. That's the main point. I don't think we should beat around the bush today. Mr. Subramaniam, this is...
I just want to...
No, one second. Mr. Subramaniam, is it or not simply about political turf battles? That is the reason why you don't have an NCTC.
Yes, Arnab, you are perfectly correct. Yeah. It is extremely important, apart from the policy issue I referred to, extremely important to strengthen the institutions, strengthen the procedures. And NCTC could potentially be one such agency. But take just half a minute to understand the implications. I have seen closely the implementation of POTA, of Kofapusa. Both these had tremendous objectives. Ultimately, they were used as weapons to subjugate people or to bring people to heel at various places. What I'm saying is, it's dangerous to have an intelligence agency and an action agency linked together. You must segregate the intelligence agency from the action agency, number one. Number two, our experience has been that the IB and the CBI, which are technical agencies, are not used so much for technical purposes, but for inter-party activities by whoever is in power. Now, there is a great danger. If you meet these two with sufficient safeguards, and mechanism like NCTC is extremely important, extremely useful. Otherwise, it can be a major weapon in the hands of whoever is in power.
Well, I mean, that basically means to say India will never have a centralized counter-terror mechanism. Mahesh Jetpalani. So we'll come back to square one. There will be another series of blasts. We will keep sitting and discussing this, but there will never be a centralized counter-terror mechanism because there is a feud between state governments and central government. State governments feel their powers are going to be encroached upon.
NCTC will not preempt.
Well,
NCTC will not stop terror attacks alone. There has to be political will.
No, but where is the political will to have an NCTC if America can have a centralized counter-terror structure?
Arnab, another one aspect.
No, one second. I want to I want to get Mahesh Jetpalani. If America can have a centralized counter-terror center where a person can go from Memphis to Detroit to Louisiana and go there and crack any terror case without going through red tape and wasting time, Mahesh Jetpalani, you know that this is most critical. However, you know, your party is also simply currying favor with other parties and regional parties who want to keep this issue afloat politically because they don't want to give up their local jurisdictions. So the fight against terror, Mahesh Jetpalani, boils down to politics also for you, I'm afraid. It boils down to politics for you as much as it boils down to inaction for the central government.
Arnav, I'm going to let that personal barb pass. I think you inject more politics into debates than anybody else does. There's a very simple situation. Today you have the NIA, which is a federal police force, which is empowered to go. You must know that the National
Investigating Agency described as a half measure
was passed unanimously.
Which your party described as a half measure.
But that's the half. I have already answered that question. I'm not going to repeat it just so you get a debating point.
Well,
I have already answered that question.
Something to you.
The half measure we talked about is you must the remaining part is that you must have the political will. Having a plethora of laws, centralized or decentralized, is not the answer.
No, you say political will, but you will not allow a body. You will not allow a body to be put together. A body which can prove to be tremendously successful.
Who said?
Globally, wherever there is a centralized counter-terror center, wherever there is a centralized, let me tell you why it would change things here. If a centralized counter-terror center would be there, then your Mumbai police, no, 1 minute, your Mumbai police, Mahesh Jetpalani, 1 minute. Now I'm not making any barbs. I'm making a factual point to you. If an NCTC were to be there.
You are asking a question which if you have the answer, you shouldn't ask the question.
I am asking you a counter question. I am asking you a counter question. Do you disagree? No, 1 minute. Don't get worked up.
Counter question to your own question.
I am asking a counter question to your point, if you allow me.
I don't understand this.
Let me ask you. Do you disagree? However uncomfortable it is, answer my question. do you disagree that if an NCTC were to be there...
Nothing is uncomfortable. I'm willing to answer all questions. I'm not in power today.
Yeah. So the question is this, that do you disagree...
Nor is my party.
Do you disagree that if an NCTC were to be there, that the information that was there with the Mumbai police, that 3 people went underground, coupled with the information of what the Tihar police convict in that case spoke about the recce of Dilsukh Nagar, would have been passed co-terminously to the Hyderabad police for actionable intelligence, action on the ground, and we would not be sitting here discussing why this incident happened in Dilsukh Nagar? It's as simple as that.
But Arnav,
it's as simple as that.
I'm asked, there's a very simple answer to that. Now, please let me answer you. There's a very simple answer. You already have a federal police force. The National Investigating Agency has all India jurisdiction. It was passed
It has had a terrible track
Today
record.
The NIA can go into any state. But that's a terrible track record. So what makes you so sure you have an NCTC? It's going to have a better track record. You want to have more, you use past examples and you forget them.
You say, okay, wait a minute, this is not just between...
And then you want to repeat the same mistake. And you assume that the next police organization, just because you've given a different nomenclature, will be more efficient.
I am only talking, you're getting unnecessarily worked up. I am simply talking about the flow of information. I am simply talking about the flow of information and how it would have been eased up. You may have trouble with it becoming too powerful a body. That is the point, Swaranjit Sen, isn't it?
Yeah.
The real problem with the NCTC is that some people believe it will become too powerful a body.
No, not at all. And I think NCTC is certainly required. And if you don't have it, there will not be the required cohesion. That is the fact on ground. Now, if the NCTC is going to help in preempting offences like this, terrorism acts like this, why not? Why should we be so shy about, just because there is an NIA, but usually the NIA comes into action post the offence of terrorism act, an investigation agency. We are talking about an agency which could combine all the information and make the states feel the importance of acting. Now that is what we are talking about. And this matter has been discussed in great detail. I was part of the Commission on Center-State Relations and we strongly recommended this. I don't think that there's any reason why anyone should go against
and we forget what we said. We forget what we said.
Coordinate affairs.
No, what is it, Mr. Anjan?
Your recommendation do not hold the ground. The government of India is not interested to have this center-state relation, recommendation. They are not worried about the police recommendation. They are not, interested about the many times the decision, all-party decision which has taken place inside the parliament. The main question today, if we see what the Home Minister's statement says, that the same police type of a statement, if somewhere something goes on, there's a permanent phrase.
I think we don't learn from our experiences.
Situation
we are not, Mr. Anjan, we don't learn from our experiences.
Situation is tense but under control.
No, the problem is, Mr. Anjan, I go to Rana Bhai, we don't learn from our experiences. NCTC was conceived after 26/11. When people like Mahesh Jetmalani, when people like Mahesh Jetmalani and others came out and said, let's have a strong state. Let's sift through the intelligence provided by different agencies. Let's give an agency, let's create an agency which will have the power to carry out searches and arrests without any bureaucracy in any part of information of India, to collect, collate and disseminate data on terrorism and decide what should be acted on. That is precisely what people like Mahesh Jetmalani said in 2008 after 26/11. However, today, politics crept in for 4.5 years. I have been, I have said right at the start, and Renuka Chaudhary got upset. I said, no, 1 minute. I did say that the centre did not act like it should have. But if an NCTC was there, then perhaps we would have had some teeth to act. Am I completely wrong in that, Rana Banerjee, on the NCTC point? Rana Banerjee, please.
No, absolutely right.
Rana Banerjee, please.
Right. Regarding the NCTC,
about that.
Yeah, Rana
regarding
Banerjee.
the NCTC,
yeah.
the main problem has been of getting it to have police powers. Now, as long as policing is a state subject, all the state governments have resisted handing over of any police powers to the NCTC for taking up preemptive operations. This has been the main problem. And to get around that, you have to have a via media where you co-opt state police officials into the NCTC or mechanism, whatever, from the center, to take on joint operations. But the argument against that is that it jeopardizes the secrecy of such operations.
And that's
now, the other point that I'd like to make is about the Indian Mujahideen. Now they have become much more sophisticated, and their footprint is very much inside India, although there is no denying that initially the Pakistanis, fostered and fomented it just to create an institution or a set of people whom they could distance themselves from. But now the modules are on the ground, and the modules are very active in Pune, in Bhatkal, in Darbhanga, Azamgarh, and all of them have people who then gravitate onto places like Hyderabad. So you have to have the state police ability to catch the movements of these people on their own. So these are the 2 points that I like to make.
No, absolutely, I agree with you. But yes, Mahesh Jethmalani, I don't think you have any fresh, you have taken a hard position on the NCTC. But yes, please go ahead.
First of all, I never spoke in favor of the NCTC in 2008.
You
so
spoke in favor of everything that the NCTC represents. Yes.
No, I did not. I did not. In fact, I have a petition challenging even the NIA, the jurisdiction of the NIA pending in the Bombay High Court. I have been against it because in actual practice what happens is these federal agencies like the CBI will be misused. I find that the state polices are much more effective. And please let me tell you something. Let us take you are now extrapolating from the present incident to recommending the need for the NCTC. The present incident in Hyderabad. What is the failure over there which calls for the NCTC? You
the failure
had
of
the Delhi police,
the failure of the dissemination and action of information.
They had to, yes, but why do you need the NCTC? All they had to do was convey this to the Hyderabad police. The Delhi police conveyed it to the Hyderabad police. Is that not happened? Don't you have interstate cooperation? If I had information that a crime is about, if Maharashtra police have information that a crime is about to be committed in another state, the elementary common police prudence would demand that you convey that, disseminate that information to that police state.
Surely you know that in India, unless you institutionalize something, it is not done. I'll take the counter view from Renuka Chaudhary. Renuka Chaudhary, Mahesh Jethmalani says this does not prove any need for NCTC. There can be interstate cooperation on intelligence sharing without any formalized structure. Your response to that, please?
I think with changing times, we need changing instruments. We can say there are enough laws on every subject, Arnav. There were enough laws on women's safety and security. What happened? So it's not, why are we resistant to change? Why are we resistant to take a step that will bring more cohesiveness? Why do we start everything with a suspicion? What is wrong with NCTC? If you will have accountability of one agency, then you can't have state government saying we didn't know, we didn't do, or whatever. Why is it that we don't want to give that accountability?
How come the same argument of yours did not apply? Okay, once I have a counter question to Renuka Chaudhary. Already one hand goes up. I let Mahesh Jethmalani counter first. However, I'll place my question to Renuka Chaudhary on record. How come this was not the position of the Congress party when the NDA was pushing for Pota? At that time, the NDA said that extraordinary times call for extraordinary measures, and the Congress party, always looked the other way on that. I'll get an answer later, but I'll couple that with Mahesh Jethmalani's counter.
Because we were a little alarmed at the NDA's lack of experience.
You are alarmed at the NDA's lack of experience then? Okay, Mahesh Jethmalani.
No, we gave a ministerial escort. Don't forget that. We gave ministerial escort. At that point, when Parliament was under attack, Congress came and said, hands down, go ahead and do what you have to do. We will support you. It was us who said that.
Yes, Mr. Jethmalani.
And then we saw unraveling in front of our eyes where they were given a ministerial escort to go. And they were escorted in an aircraft with a minister taking them specially. And then these terrorists came back and targeted India.
Yes, Mr. Jethmalani. Last counter from Mr. Jethmalani to the Congress.
We said that doesn't mean that this is the way to do it now. Are we ready for a national mechanism or not?
Arnav, let me quickly answer. Renuka has been going on. Let me just answer 3 quick questions. First of all, Pota was not for creation of a new police agency, either an intelligence one or an investigating one. Pota was for strengthening laws by making confessions admissible and changing bail terms, changing
the
grant
reservations on Pota,
and grant of bail and remand to custody. That was predominantly what Pota was about. It had nothing to do with the creation of a new intelligence agency. Secondly, as far as Kandahar is concerned, I might tell Renuka Chaudhary immediately, who wants to score petty debating points, that Manmohan Singh led a delegation to the Prime Minister and he said that the prime concern of this government should be the safety of the hijacked passengers. This is on record. Please read your newspapers. And by the way, Sonia Gandhi wasn't in India at that time. She made no contribution. Thirdly, Arnav, we had the experience of the NIA. We have the experience of the NIA, which was an investigating agency, albeit not it was not an intelligence agency. The NIA has been grossly misused by the government at the center, just like the CBI has. All it has been used to do is to put political opponents into embarrassing positions, foment cases against them. The CBI does the same thing. The NIA is politicizing terror, and I have no doubt that if you have a NCTC, all the intelligence gathering they will do is tapping the private phones.
No, but it appears to me. It appears to me that there is a deep suspicion between different parts of the political class. But because of that, you see, the people cannot suffer. Create an agency, depoliticize it, speed up actioning, and spare repeated attacks, and find a solution as soon as you can.
And get accountability.
Well, accountability, also action, accountability, and ask the Delhi police why they didn't act for so long. Renuka Chaudhary, you know, we'll look at
one point.
I'm very short of time, but on the other side, as I thank all my panelists.
Our judicial system, a transparent judicial system. Our laws are quite efficient. Our CRPC and IPC are quite
Mr.
powerful.
Ranjan,
the question is this: in absence of
Mr. Ranjan, how many
decision,
politicians?
In absence,
I will not take names. Mr. Ranjan, how many politicians have gone there and scored brownie points? With those who are suspected in terror activities. We also have to be careful of that, and we have to draw the line there as well. And that also happens across the political spectrum. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get together. Let's create something cohesive. And let's not be seen to be a sitting duck for terror attacks. Thank you very much for debate number one.
But at one point also we added, in the name of fighting terrorism, innocent people cannot be put behind the bar.
That point is understood. That point is understood. But innocent people are also dying. And my limited point is about the innocent people who are dying, not just about the innocent people who you think will be targeted, Mr. Ranjan. Thank you very much for joining me on debate number one on the Newshour tonight.